Okay, let's go over the answers to those problems I gave you yesterday. Anybody got anything for number 12? Anybody got an answer for number 12? Anybody do it? What you got? For number 12. Anybody get anything else? Nice job. 20, comma 4. Good. What about number 15? 15. Anybody get anything else? What'd you get? Anybody get an 8 and a negative 1? Nice job. So what on this one here, this last one, Jeffries, did you solve for y first? Really? There goes that theory. I was thinking maybe since you got the y value right, you solved for it first, and then when you substituted, you made a mistake. But not sure what happened there. We'll have to do that one. How about number 18? Somebody give me an answer for 18. Marley? Say again? Alex? Nicole? I gave you 3 freaking problems to do. Gabrielle? No response? I'll talk to Coach Collins, see if he can get you doing your work, maybe. You know? Anybody? Hey, what you got? -6, -6. Thank you for doing your work. -6. I know that that assignment of 3 problems is strenuous. Boy, man, I completely understand with those full-time jobs y'all are working and, you know, playing probably at least one varsity sport. Tough to get 3 problems done. I mean, they probably took a whole 3 or 4 minutes each. I sympathize, though. I completely understand. I understand. Anybody have a question? Anybody that did the problems, do you have a question about? Yes. 12, let's see. Did you get either of the values correct? Oh, if you got the 20 and you solved for x first. All right, number 12, she said she got x equals 20, right? And then when you plug it in, number 12, you got x plus 12y equals 68. So x plus 12y equals 68. And you substitute a 20 for the x. So 20 plus 12y equals 68. You would yeah, x was equal to 20, and y was equal to 4. So do you need me to start over? All right, just let's see. X plus 12y equals 68. And x equals 8y minus 12. So since you already knew what x was, you could take this and put it here. So instead of this x, you could write 8y minus 12 plus 12y equals 68. And then you combine these two. So 8y and 12y, 20y minus 12 equals 68. And then add 12. And 20y equals 80 and divide by 2. So y equals 4. Yeah, just be careful. Anytime you got multiple variables or, multiple y's, you got 8 y's right here, and then you got 12 more y's. So that's 20 y's altogether. Right, Nicole? Yes, ma'am. Did you do the last one? Yeah. All right. Did you get either one of them right? No. Okay. Was the last one 18? Yeah. 18. R plus S equals negative 12. And 4R minus 6S equals 12. Oh, it's minus 6S? Yes, ma'am. 4R minus 6S equals 12. So you want to talk me through it? Yaviel will help you. Let me leave you alone for today. All right.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, so R plus 6 equals negative 12 is what I chose.
The top one, the R plus S?
Oh, I meant S, yeah.
Yep.
And then I just subtracted S for both sides, and that is R equals negative S minus 12.
Very good.
And then I went to the other side, right? And then you go to the next problem?
Then you go to the next one.
Okay, and then you do 4 parentheses negative S minus 12. And then plus 6 equals 12. But that's all I did.
Oh, you wrote plus 6S, and then so it should have been minus 6S equals 12. So you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You just,
I wrote the problem.
yep. And I'm going to tell you what, it happens a lot in these type of problems because the font is kind of small sometimes and stuff gets crowded. People are looking at blue equation, right? And there's the same letters in both, and they're kind of in the same form, right? And what'll happen is their eyes will float right up there, and they'll write down the 4R, they'll glance up, and sometimes they'll go like 4R plus S equals, they'll write half of the bottom one and the other half of the top. So if, sometimes, I don't know how you do things, but maybe put your thumb over one of the problems so that you're just focused, because you can see what one little slip up does.
Okay, thank you.
And on a 10-question quiz, you get one wrong, that's a letter grade. Any other questions from yesterday's assignment? Who in here does have a job? Raise your hand if you got a job. Wow, nobody. How old are you guys? How old are you? 16. 16. Everybody in here 16? 15? Alex? 15. Marley? Oh, you guys are old. Do you 16-year-olds drive? Do you drive? Javiel, well, how old are you? 15? Do you have a permit? Okay. So you get to drive? Nicole, do you drive?
I have a permit, so I put my mom in.
She lets you?
But she has to be in the car.
Oh, yeah, I'm aware of that stipulation. All right, any questions? Any other questions from yesterday's assignment before we move on? You people at home got a question? Anybody at home got a job?
I have one.
Who's that, Gabe?
Yeah.
Where you work?
Publix, the beachside one.
Do you?
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. I've
That's a
been there for
quality
like half
job.
a
That's
year.
a quality job right there. Don't lose that.
Yeah, they treat me well.
Yeah, good. Well, hang on to that because if you get into
Yeah,
a management position, they make a lot of money
yeah, they do.
and they get a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about we're going to solve more systems today, but we're going to use a different method. So here we go. What's the date? Not today's 9/23/20. So y'all that don't have jobs and you're to the point in your life where money is somewhat your parents just give you money? No? What do you do for money? You just don't have any? What do you do for money, Kaylee?
Something for my mom.
Huh?
I do something for her. Like,
Do the dishes, she gives you $50?
no.
No? Something more substantial?
Yeah. Like babysitting or something.
Okay. All right, that's legit. No job, Clay? What do you do for money?
I go work with my brother.
Huh?
I work with my brother.
What does he do?
He does like wood carving over at the flea market.
Okay. So you go do something
Yeah.
physical and you get paid for it instead of just asking for money. How many of you just get the card when you need it? Mommy and daddy's card, they just hand it to you. Come on, tell the truth. Nobody? Some people are giggling like they get it, but they don't want to admit to anybody else that they just get the card when they need money. What does Jenna do for money?
I do like $1 a day and just add stuff.
Okay, $1 a day. That's not bad. And then you just got to pretty much do whatever they say to do.
Well, because I live in like a household where you don't get paid to do chores,
You just-
because you do.
Just do 'em.
Yeah, but then like sometimes if it's like 2 months, I think the dishes anyway.
Yeah,
It's like a lot of dishes that I get paid.
a little bit more. Yeah, well, that's fair. I'll give you an allowance, but for your allowance, you got to mow the yard, you got to take the trash out and bring the trash cans in, stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of it's the beginning of a job. Instead of the old mommy or daddy, can I have some money? I'm going to go out with my friends. And they just give you like a 20 or here's my debit card, just use it. Oh, well. Mm-hmm. Solving systems. Today we're going to call it elimination. Solving systems by elimination. Does anybody remember when we solved for the system? Does anybody remember what that point meant? You got an X value and a Y value when you solve the system. Does anybody remember what that meant in the big scheme of things? Good, very good. It meant that's where the lines would intersect if you graphed both lines. Okay? It's where the two lines would intersect on a graph. So here we go, solving by elimination. Today we got a system 4x plus 2y equals 9. 4x plus 2y equals 9. And okay. Start off very basic. Negative 4x plus 3y equals 16. Solving systems by elimination here's what it means. It means that you're going to combine the equations. Or you're going to add the equations together. And when you do that, you're doing that because you want to eliminate a variable. Okay? So if you look at this system of equations, if you add them together right now, what are you going to eliminate? Huh? The x is going to get eliminated, isn't it? Because of 4x plus negative 4x is 0. So if you add these equations together, all right, your 4x's eliminate. And you get a 2y plus a 3y, which is a 5y, equals 9 plus 16 is 25. You divide by 5, and y equals 5. Now, with y being equal to 5, you go back and you substitute into either equation. You get to pick which one you want. So I'm going to do the top one since it doesn't have any negatives in it. So we get 4x plus 2 times 5 equals 9. So 4x plus 10 equals 9. Subtract 10 from each side. 4x equals negative 1. And divide both sides by 4. And x equals negative 1/4. So if you were to graph these two lines, they would intersect at negative 1/4 and 5. Everybody all right with that? Okay. Now, that's the simplest type of solution you'll solve, when a variable has a positive value and a negative value in front of it. And you can just combine right off the get-go to eliminate a variable. Now, some of these other equations, you're going to have to do a little bit of work. So let's see if we do something like, we're going to solve this system. Now we got x minus y equals negative 4. Three x plus 2y equals 7. Oh, actually on this one, when you combine them, no, you're not going to get rid of them. Okay, so here we go. Pay attention, please. Do you see these two equations? X minus y equals negative 4. 3x plus 2y equals 7. If you combined these equations right now, what would your x plus 3x equal? 4x. And negative y plus 2y. That would be a y, wouldn't it? And you would not eliminate a variable, would you? What you're allowed to do is multiply one equation or both equations by values so that when you do combine the equations, you will eliminate a variable. So you have to do some forecasting. You have to know in your head that you're going to be combining these equations to eliminate a variable. And then what you do is you pick the variable that you want to eliminate based on the least path of resistance. Okay? In this case, if we were to multiply the top equation, by positive 2, multiply the top equation by positive 2, what's going to happen to this negative y? What's it going to become? It's going to become a negative 2y, isn't it? And when you combine a negative 2y with a positive 2y, what do you get? It eliminates, doesn't it? You get a 0. So that's why I picked to multiply by positive 2. So now we got to multiply everything in the equation by positive 2. So we go x times positive 2 is 2x. Negative y times positive 2 is negative 2y. And negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. We just rewrite or bring over the bottom equation. 3x plus 2y equals 7. And now we can combine the equations in order to eliminate a variable. So your 2x plus your 3x is 5x. Your negative 2y and your positive 2y, they cancel out. And your negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. So if you divide both sides by 5, then your x equals negative 1/5. Now, once you've got your x value, you can substitute it into either equation. It looks like it would be the easiest to substitute it into the top just because it doesn't have as many numbers in it. So where there's an x in this top equation, I'm going to rewrite it. But where the x is, I'm going to put a negative 1/5 minus y equals negative 4. So right here, substituting. Gonna add 1/5 to each side. So negative y equals, we got negative 4 plus 1/5. So 4 negative plus 1/5. That's negative 3 4/5. We're going to divide both sides by negative 1. So our y is going to be equal to, that negative 3 and negative divided by negative is going to be a positive. This negative 3 4/5, you're probably going to see it more like this. That's going to be 19/5. All right, so the solution for this system, the point where these two lines intersect is at negative 1/5 and 19/5. Negative 1/5 and 19/5. Fifths. Okay, so that was the case where we had to manipulate one of the equations. In this first example, no manipulation was involved. It was just combine the equations, you eliminate a variable, solve, substitute. In this second example, you had to manipulate one equation. Okay? When you manipulated one equation, then you could combine to eliminate, solve for x, substitute, solve for y. So what do you think is going to happen next? Very good. You're going to have to manipulate both equations. All right, so take a look at this. Now we got 3x plus 4y equals 10. Two x plus 3y equals 7. If you combine the equations now, nothing will be eliminated, will it? You'll have a 5x plus a 7y equals 17. So what you want to do in this case, Do you see, there's not a clear number to multiply just one equation by. There's nothing to multiply 3 by to make it equal to 4. You don't want to multiply 2 times something to make it equal 3. All right, it's going to be a decimal, or a little bit more than a decimal. So there's no clear number to multiply one of the equations by so that you can eliminate. So what you do is you multiply both equations by a number so that when you solve or when you combine, you will eliminate a variable. Now, here's the deal. You can pick whichever variable you want to eliminate first. Okay? You can pick the x or you can pick the y. I'm going to pick the x right now. I'm going to get rid of the x. So here's what I do. Do you see how we got a 3x and a 2x? Got a 3x and a 2x. Well, what's 3 times 2 equal? 6. So if we multiply the top equation by 2, we'll get a positive 6x, right? But now, when we combine the equations, we want to eliminate the x. So what would we multiply the bottom equation by? What kind of 3? Well, if we multiplied it by a positive 3, we would have a positive 6 and a positive 6. A negative 3. Everybody understand that? That way you'll have a 6x and you'll have a negative 6x, and when you combine, the x's will be gone. Right, Christy? So let's distribute on the top. 3x times 2 is 6x, plus 4y times 2 is 8y, and that's equal to 10 times 2, which is 20. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. 3y times negative 3 is negative 9y. And 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. Now you can combine these two equations. Your x's cancel out. So 8y minus 9y, that's negative y, equals 20 minus 21 is negative 21, and you can divide both sides by negative 1. So y equals 21. Now you go back to either equation and substitute the 21 where there's a y. So I'm going back to this bottom equation. 2x plus 3 times 21 equals 7. Two x plus 63 equals 7. Subtract 63. 2x equals 7 minus 63. That's negative 56. And then divide by 2. So your x equals negative 28. So these two lines, if they were graphed, would meet at the point negative 28, 21. All right, so anybody have any questions regarding solving by elimination? Speak up, please. Where at? $20 minus, oh yeah, wow. 20 minus 21 is not negative 21, is it? All right, thank you. So we gotta get rid of that, and that, and that. So 20 minus 21 is negative 1. And negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. Oops. Is 1. So 2x plus 3 times 1. That's got to go away. And that. And that. And that. And that. Gee, that's all. So 3 times 1 is 3. If we subtract 3 from each side, 7 minus 3 is 4. Say positive 4. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So, boy, that was a mess everywhere, wasn't it? So y ends up equaling 1, and x equals 2. Sorry about that. Okay, any questions on solving by elimination? We're going to manipulate none of the equations, one of the equations, or both of the equations. Okay, I'm going to give you some practice problems to do today. God, I hope in your very busy schedules you have time to do them. I really do. I'm going to handwrite them, though, because I'm going to give you a bunch. I mean, I'm going to probably give you like 3 again. You know, maybe when you get off work tonight, you'll have a little bit of time before you exercise and then go to bed. All right, we're going to call this one 28. 3x plus 2y equals 6. No, wait a minute. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. We didn't really cover that example. Those are not even in order or nothing. So hang on a minute. Just erase that and that. All right, let's call this 23. Let's go x plus 2y equals 10. X plus y equals 6. Let's call this one 27. Three u plus 3v (15) negative 2u plus 3v plus 3v equals negative 5. And then we'll do this number 32 here. 9a minus 3d equals 3. Negative 3a plus d equals negative 1. And one more. This is going to be 33. 2a plus 3b equals 12. Five a minus b equals 13. All right, those are your practice problems for today. We're going to solve each system. All right, e-learners, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to end this meeting. And we'll try again tomorrow.